Let's talk about the kind of rejection that doesn't make a damn bit of sense. It has happened to us veterans many times over. As managers, we feel bad when it happens to our sales consultants because there's just not a darn thing that we can do. And it leaves us just standing there in the parking lot looking at that empty spot where the trade should be, arms crossed. And we're just like, what the hell? I mean, you're trying to make peace in your mind that, you can come to the terms with the fact that these people ain't coming back. They missed the appointment and there's no one there. But you did everything right, right? You weren't pushy. You listened to them. You took your time. You answered every single question that you could honestly. And even the ones that made you wince, you still listened to all of them and you still answered them, right? You found the exact trim, the right color, you dealer traded from states away, the payment was absolutely perfect. I mean, seriously, there was nothing to complain about. You even stayed late after work just to make sure that you were finding the exact same one. You made them laugh, you made them cry, you had a good time, and you even gave their kid a balloon and the dog a bottle of water. I mean, you really went ahead and went the distance here. And yet, they said they'd talk it over. Or maybe they grab lunch. We'll be back this afternoon. And then nothing. Freaking crickets. So maybe you followed up once, twice, you left a voicemail, maybe you got brave and even texted them and, you checked every single box that you could, including guys going as far as scoping them out on Facebook. And then all of a sudden, your heart breaks, right? You seeing them in a photo of a beaming, beautiful, brand new vehicle with a sales consultant that clearly is not you, and that tag in that photo is clearly not your dealership. And suddenly, the air gets knocked out of you, right? Your chest tightens. You scroll through all of your notes trying to figure out what the heck you did wrong. And you turn into like this crazy detective inside of your brain just going, what happened? Because you had it. You were right there. All they had to do was say, yes, we're good. And you're good. You moved the earth, and now all you've got is silence as a thank you. That kind of rejection, it's the worst because it's not a loud no. It's a disappearing act. It's pure cowardice. It's the kind of quiet that just screams in the interior of your brain because you can't figure it out. And here's the part that we don't talk about enough. When you care about your job, when you really try to do it right, those moments, they feel personal because you didn't just try to sell the car. You served, you listened, and you gave. And what do you get back? A shrug, a ghost, a gut punch. It messes with your head, it messes with your heart, and it makes you question whether this job is actually worth it. Because if you're doing it right and it still doesn't work, then what the heck's the point? You spend all this time honing your craft and you still failed. Let me tell you something hard but honest. Not every rejection is about you. That's not every no is your fault. Some customers are just going through things that they don't know how to explain. Sometimes the issue isn't money. It's isn't the product. It's fear. It's shame. It's self-doubt. You see, I've seen customers walk away from perfect deals because they didn't feel like they deserved something. I've seen people, go ahead and say, "Hey, we're gonna think about it," because they were embarrassed to admit that their credit was worse than they thought it was. I've seen dads who smiled through the test drive but ghosted us later because their wife had plans and they didn't want to lose face. I've seen moms who were sold and emotionally invested, then disappear because someone in their family told them they were being irresponsible. Sometimes the customer wants to come back, but they don't know how. And you know what? The embarrassment is real. That sense of I bailed and now I can't show my face again lives in more customers than we realize. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have experienced this as well. They don't come back not because they didn't want the car, not because they didn't trust you, but because they're ashamed to waste any more of your time. This is a real thing. It doesn't show up on any tracker that's out there, but it sure as heck should. JD Power and Associates gets really, really close with the rejector but we're still a little far away because this is an emotional thing. And that's why follow up matters, not just for the numbers, but for grace. A thoughtful call, a kind message, even a simple, hey, no pressure, just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. It can create that bridge that can allow for guilt to just go away, right? We want to erode that wall on down. Remember, the core part of our job as consultants is to reduce that wall and give customers that permission, grant them that access to buying. You never know who's out there hoping for a second chance, but they're just too darn nervous to go ahead and call you or reach out. Sometimes we do too good of a job and the customer just doesn't know how to explain it to us. And yes, this is no guarantee that they're going to go ahead and buy from you. But here's what it will do. It will give you the ability to sleep better at night knowing that it wasn't you. And this is really comes down to the fact that you gave grace and that matters. And let's be honest, because when you're in the middle of it, when you're hurting, none of this sounds helpful. You don't want lessons. You want closure. You want to know why. You want to scream, I did everything right. Why wasn't that enough? And here's the brutal truth. Sometimes it's never going to be enough for that customer on that day in that particular situation because life is complicated and we're human beings. And quite honestly, we're really freaking weird. You could have been perfect and still lost. You could have been better than perfect and still watch someone at a different dealership throw that customer a $300 Amazon gift card. And next thing you know, they do a half ass walk around and win the deal. You could have earned it and still not gotten it. And this is where the emotional dagger starts to come out in. This is the thing that causes us to armor up, to start cutting corners, to start rushing those deals, to stop investing in ourselves and go into full on NPC robot mode where you take you away from you. You pull out the same pitch every time because it hurts to try too much. And before you know it, you're not selling. You're just trying to survive. I've been there. A lot of us have. It's part of the job, and occasionally it's just one of those burdens that we have to carry around. But it's a place where you start asking yourself over and over and over again, why do we even bother caring? Why not just leave this armor up and just go through it day to day? Because here's why. When you care, you become unforgettable. Maybe not to that customer, maybe not today, but over time, caring compounds. It builds your reputation. It shapes the kind of consultant that you want to ask for by name. It's the reason that people return, even after they've walked out on you once before. You won't always see the immediate results from caring, but the work that you put in, the human work, it stacks up over time. Someone will remember that you weren't the pushy one. Someone will remember that you were the one that actually listened. Someone will remember that you didn't roll your eyes when they said that they couldn't pay that particular price for that vehicle. In those moments, that's your legacy, not the sale, not how you sold. So if you're in that space right now, if you got a deal that's haunting you, if you're beating yourself up because you lost the one you earned, this is me telling you, you didn't fail. You showed up, you gave a damn, and that's something this industry doesn't always reward, but it's something that the world needs most of right now. You're going to lose some that make no freaking sense. You're going to watch the lesser efforts of others get rewarded. But if you keep choosing empathy over ego, service over shortcuts, consistency over quick wins, you'll offset and outlast everybody at the store. You'll be the one that will be selling more cars than everybody else over time. But more importantly, you'll sleep better at night in a larger house, with a better car, with a better life. So breathe, shake it off. And remember, sometimes the no was never about you in the first place. Sometimes it was their fear, their shame, their chaos, their life. And sometimes they'll come back. And sometimes you just simply need to drop them a line and say, hey, it's okay. I'm not dangerous. I'm not scary. I'm still here, the same nice individual that you talked to before. Just know this, you're not broken. You're not the problem here. You're just someone who gives a damn. And that is rare. Go out there, spread the kindness, keep your head up, and keep going. And just know, I know you got this. Talk to you next week.